Let's go. They've got everything. Everything caravan and camping. They've got everything.
Yeah, g'day team and welcome to our Everything Caravan and Camping podcast sponsored by ECCParks. My name's Scott Hillier from Channel 7 and each week we're going to take you to a different destination around this great country of ours. We're going to get you there safe with our Weight Towing Masterclasses. We've got tech tips. We're going to chat to influencers and we're also going to chat to you, the listeners. We want to hear your stories. We want to hear your questions. We're going to have a bit of a laugh with our Caravan Park Confessions, and every week we're going to chat to the greatest chef ever given an open fire and a set of tongs, none other than Harry Fisher from Fire to Fork. I'm excited. Let's get into it. ECC, it's a 24/7 marketplace for all things caravanning, camping and 4x4. Now, with more than 10,000 products available from hundreds of popular brands, you'll find everything you need for your next outdoor adventure. Don't forget, subscribe to the newsletter and save a further 10% off the best brands, products and prices. They're only a click away.
Let's go.
Okay, it's that time of the podcast to head to a different destination, and we are off to Victoria, Rochester, Riverside Holiday Park. Now, morning, Kendra, how are you?
I'm very good, thank you.
That is the way. Now, how have I done here? It's near, you've got Bendigo on one side, Echuca on one side, and Shepparton on another side. Have I done all right?
You've done very well, yes.
And for those listening who maybe haven't been there, from Brizzy, it's around 1,550 Ks and just under 18 hours to drive directly. But obviously, we wouldn't encourage that, Kendra. You'd break your trip up and come and see you. But thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining us, Kendra.
Not a worry at all.
So tell us, firstly, your little location there, it must get cool in winter. Can I ask that?
It does. It's Victoria.
Yeah, true. It's 4 seasons in one day, don't they say?
They do say that, and that's very true.
Yeah. So I guess all the listeners out there are keen to hear. Tell us a bit about the park.
Okay. But we're a smallish park, so about 57 powered sites, 4 of those are en-suite sites. About 5 unpowered, which is grass right on the riverbank of the Campaspe River.
Nice.
We have 2 cabins. One of them is actually an accessible cabin with a ramp and all disabled toilet and all that.
Oh, nice.
We have 7 residents that are permanent here, lovely guys, and a couple of annuals. So we're quite small. We also have, what have we got? Camp, kitchen, playground.
Nice.
And a fantastic all abilities kayak and fishing ramp.
Oh, Kendra, my ears have pricked up. Did you say fishing?
Yes.
and all which is good to know, because a lot of people travel with a little travel ride or something, or they want to jump in a kayak. But fishing wise, what sort of fish are we catching?
Mainly Murray cod.
Oh, nice. Have you been out yourself and had a little crack?
No, a bit too busy running the park. But when we have communal fires on a Friday, Saturday night, and I love hearing the guests say, guess what I caught? And they give me photos and I pop them on Facebook. So.
Fantastic. So tell me more about the Friday night ritual, because there's nothing better when you get away in the RV, or even if you're camping and sitting around with, and it's all about making new friends, isn't it?
Absolutely it is. No, it's great. We get it lit and encourage them to come over or just see us, and then they come over and we all just chat. It's great.
Yeah, lovely. And amenities as well, amenity-wise out there, Kendra?
Yes, we've got the 4 en-suites, but we've got the big amenity block, which has actually got a disabled and a family toilet, bathroom as well.
Fantastic.
They're fairly newish. Like, they've got glass. The showers have got glass doors, not just your curtain.
Yeah, lovely. Oh, very feels just like you're having a shower at home.
That's right.
And a big one, everyone wants to know, are we pet friendly?
Very pet friendly. Only the cabins are not, but the rest, all the site, absolutely. Bring the dog.
Yeah. And are you finding, like, we're chatting to a lot of the various parks, it's just becoming more and more popular. People are travelling. Like, I own a little cavoodle, little Gabby, love her to death. And if we can take her, we do, wherever we can. Are you finding it's becoming more and more popular?
Very much. Yeah. I think I book more dogs in than children.
There you go. There you go. That's funny.
Everyone seems to be travelling with a dog, or 2 or 3.
Yeah, there you go. And what about if people want to grab a coffee or something to eat? Is there some stuff close by?
Walking distance to town, which everyone loves. I mean, I'm talking a 5 to 10 minute walk. You cross the bridge over the Campaspe River, and there's the town. So we've got 4 pubs, lots of cafes, bakery, and IGA. We're still a fairly small town, but it's great you don't need a car.
No, that's fantastic. And apart from the fishing, Kendra, anything else people like to do, or what do you hear that? I mean, I know a lot of people just enjoy their own time and relaxing because it sounds like a very relaxing park, but anything else people can get up to?
It is. There's a silo art trail, which is really popular everywhere now.
Oh, okay.
We've
tell
got
us about
the
that.
painted silos here. We have some here, but also close other towns around.
Okay, nice.
Which is popular.
Yeah, I bet
people love that.
Yeah, they do. Taking a photo, standing in front of the silo, bending down, getting a little picky. I think we've covered everything, Kendra. Anything else that you think? I think you've told us all about this lovely park in Rochester.
I think I have. We are quiet. Echuca is just up the road, which is everyone knows Echuca Moama.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's very busy and we're much quieter, and you should stop on the way through,
Little, and as I said, I mentioned the towns earlier, you're nice and central there, and as you said, people should put it on their bucket list and come and say g'day.
Absolutely, we'd love that.
Okay, Rochester Riverside Holiday Park. Thanks again, Kendra, and hopefully we're driving a few of our listeners towards your lovely park.
I hope so. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Kendra. See ya.
Bye.
And just a reminder, 65 parks throughout Australia and New Zealand. Now, if you head to all the W's, everythingcaravancamping.com.au today, you can purchase an ECCParks Family Parks Travel Rewards membership for a ridiculous low $30. That's all, $30. Now, this membership gives you 10% off all your stay at ECCParks Family Park destinations in Australia and New Zealand. Discounts and deals while you travel with their rewards, a third night free voucher, and an entry card to their frequent camper competition. What are you waiting for? Get onto it.
Come on. Let's go. Everything caravan and camping.
It's that time of the week to do our weight and towing masterclasses. I must say, loving all the feedback, loving all the questions, and from Total Towing Setups, the great man. What's the little name they call you, Gary? The Ayatollah of rock and a roller?
I think you called me that once or twice at shows.
Oh, I do. I love getting on the mic. Gary Gardner, how are you, mate?
Yeah, good, thanks, Scotty. How are you doing today?
Yeah, we are good, mate, and we are into it. We've got a big show today. It's busy, and as per usual, is our weight and towing masterclass, very popular. But, mate, I've got to get it out in one go. We're going to talk weight distribution hitches. Well, look at that. I didn't even stuff that up. I did. Well, we had about 5 practices, and I stuffed every one of them up. But mate, what can you tell us about this, Gary?
Yeah, look, weight distribution hitches, some people call them load leveling devices. It's the old school anti-sway bars. Let's put it in that. They're not a sway bar product, but there's those devices which stabilise the car and balance the car weights out better when your caravan's connected, particularly from the impact that the tow ball weight of your caravan has on the axle weights of your motor car.
Oh, okay. Is this the swaying when you talk about people get worried about getting up to a speed and the van starts to sway, or is that something a bit different?
Yeah, that's a different product, yeah. But the weight distribution hitches, they historically got called sway bars.
Yeah.
But they really are a load leveling or a weight distributing device. So they share that tow ball weight of the caravan evenly across the axles of the car and the axles of the caravan.
And how do you check that out, Gary? How do you know if it's being done right?
Look, definitely someone like myself, an expert who knows caravanning and knows these products, they can advise you, firstly, if you need to use one.
Yep.
Because not every car needs to have one fitted.
So explain to me, when would you need one? Tell us why.
When would you need one?
Yeah.
So it really comes down to how much does your tow ball weight impact the back axle weight of your motor car, your towing vehicle.
Okay.
So if it pushes it down, I've always used the figure, if it pushes the back of the car down by about 15 millimetres in the rear or lifts the front of the car up by about the same measurement, then using a weight distribution hitch is the right way to correct that balance across the car again.
And are they easy to install, Gary?
Really easy to install. I should say, once they're all set up correctly,
yep.
You've got to choose the right one. It's like anything at all. Bigger isn't always better when it comes to using a weight distribution hitch.
Yep.
So choosing the right one to suit your car and caravan, having it set up the first time by an expert who knows what they're doing and what it really should be achieving.
Yeah.
And then once it's all set up, it's like a 30 seconds per morning or per afternoon when you're hitching and unhitching.
Yep.
That's all it takes to actually disconnect it and have the car and caravan separated.
Wow. And your advice, Gary, you should have one. You shouldn't be leaving home without one of these, to be fair.
Yeah, look, if the car in the caravan definitely needs it, but also more importantly, if the car manufacturer allows these devices to be used.
Yeah.
Some vehicle manufacturers, they say you shouldn't use them. Other vehicle manufacturers say you necessarily shouldn't be using them on the tow bar. Some brands of tow bars aren't rated. But then on the other flip side too, there is some vehicle manufacturers which are now saying you can or you should or you must use these sorts of products to achieve the maximum tow rating of your motor vehicle now.
You are the perfect one to answer any of those questions because someone who's just getting into it, and I guess you see it as well, Gary, people that have been doing this for many, many years sometimes are unaware they're doing something wrong.
Yeah, that's why I see a lot of the caravan clubs, that sort of stuff. The oldest and most experienced tower in the group may have known the right thing 20 years ago, but things have changed over the years, and making sure you're using the product correctly is definitely the big thing for me. Is that, if it's not being used correctly, you might as well leave it at home. Yeah,
no, good one, mate. So how can people reach out to you, Gary, if they've got any questions whatsoever?
Yeah, mate, totaltowingsetups.com.au is my website. Yep. You can also find me on Facebook under the same name.
Good on you, mate. If you've got any questions, we can throw at Gary for our question time. You can email me, podcast@everythingcaravancamping.com.au. Mr. Gardner, thank you very much.
Thanks, Scotty. Have a good one.
I hope you're enjoying this Everything Caravan and Camping podcast. It is Tech Tip time with Charlie Graham. G'day, mate. How are you?
I'm going good. And yourself, mate?
Yes, going well, as they say. I've been nice and busy. I've been doing a bit of travelling, actually. I was up north not long ago, up there catching a few barramundi. So, yes.
Oh, mate, that's the way.
Yeah, I do have the best job in the world, don't I?
It is a hard life you live, Scotty.
But, mate, tech tip, we're going to talk Truma Ultra Rapid. Talk to me about this.
Scotty, this is probably going to be the most popular hot water system I see going in camper trailers on the market.
Okay.
And we are in all the major brands out there, so if you go and hit up any of the guys on the market, they're going to tell you that this is the ideal unit that's going to fit in your camper trailer, not take up a lot of space, and be nice and light and compact.
Wow. So we're talking camper trailers, Charlie. This is for the camper trailer family.
This is where we find is the ideal market for this. It's a nice small unit, 14 litres, and it comes in a gas or a gas electric option. So you don't need to run it off your gas. You can run it off the element, or you can run it off both.
Wow. And was it set up just outside the camper, obviously, just out, just a little screen?
No, the cool thing is it stays nice. It stays bolted down inside the cabinetry, inside your van.
Get out.
Very quick and easy install, and it's so simple and easy to use.
There you go. Charlie Graham, that's why we've got you on here for our tech tips. Thank you, mate. We'll speak next week.
Awesome. Thanks, Scotty. Talk to you later.
Oh, that time of the podcast again, catching up with Jason Filippini, Caravan Park Confessions. How are you, mate?
Oh, look, Scotty, I'm sensational. It's a beautiful day down here.
Yeah, it is. Oh, the sunny coast. You can't beat it, can you?
No, you can't. It's one of the best places. God's country.
Yeah, I agree. Not because we both live here and we're a little bit biased, but it is. Hey, mate, let's go because we are getting plenty of feedback about your different confessions. Where are we going and what are we up to this week?
This is a real pearler. This one came from a barbecue we had with the whole park involved. It was pancakes, it was a breakfast, it was bacon and eggs, and we would have had at least 200 or 300 people sitting around on their camp chairs, and it was all the grey nomads, the winter warriors, those the husbands and the wives, all in their late 50s through to their mid-80s, 90s. And there's this group of guys snickering in the corner. And I looked over and over away is this beautiful backpacker sunbaking in a G-string.
Oh.
And they were all daring each other. Who's going to go up and offer to rub the sun cream in? We're talking men in their late 60s, senior men, grandfathers. They were like little schoolboys. It was hilarious.
And did any of them go up and offer to rub sunscreen in?
He went up and asked if he could help. It was the dare. It was like these schoolboys. It was the funniest thing we've seen at a barbecue. All the wives were even laughing. So it was just so good.
Oh, well, at least the wives saw the funny side of it. So all in their 60s, bickering who's going to be rubbing sunscreen into the backpacker's back. Wow, Jace, you are seeing it all and doing it all.
Oh, we are indeed.
Good on you, mate. We will talk next week. Have a good one.
Talk to you next week.
It is time to catch up with influencers in and around this great country of ours, and we found a couple of rippers from Caravan Adventure Australia, Bryce and Chelsea. Good morning.
Hey, how's it going?
Good morning. We are going well, more to the point. How are you two going?
Yeah, good. Yeah, very relaxed here.
So I guess it's time to bit of a spruik. Tell us about yourselves, how long you've been on the road, where you're originally from and where you're heading and where you are now.
Yeah, so we've been on the road for 4 years now.
Wow.
We took off in 2020, right before COVID started. And we'd actually had this in the works for quite a few, or nearly years actually, before we took off initially. And we were just finishing up work and things like that when we were home, and we took off when we were both 23.
Wow.
And first hit the west coast of WA, and we've just been travelling ever since.
What was it, Chelsea, together, what made you think, right, we're just going to go and travel this great country of ours? Was it something you built up to, or you both just looked at each other and said, we're selling up and we're going?
Well, probably what started it was years ago. Our parents took us caravanning as kids. We actually met in a caravan park, funny enough, when we were both travelling with our families.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah. So just from there, we thought, why not? We did it with our families, so we want to do it together.
So elaborating on that, Bryce, you guys met as kids in a caravan park, and you must find now, you've been on the road for years, are you finding lifelong friends? It's just something that happens in this RV world.
Yeah, it's great. And it's interesting. You have a lot more in common with the people you're travelling with on the road.
Yeah, good point.
And you get to hear all of the different experiences and places where they've been, and you get actually lots of good tips and tricks from other people while you're going along, the good spots and the bad spots.
Yeah, 100%. And may I ask right now, where are you? Where are you situated as we chat on the phone?
We are in Kenilworth at the moment, so it's near the Sunshine Coast.
Yes.
Up in the hills.
I know it well. Now, have you been there long? Have you been into the bakery? Apparently they do like a foot-long sausage roll, and then they do a cream bun, which is even bigger. You'll have to go into the bakery there.
Yeah, so we only arrived yesterday afternoon. We're at a beautiful little hip camp, and that's this morning commission. That's breakfast, is the bakery.
Oh, you can't beat a little dog's eye for breakfast. Hey, Bryce, what are you travelling in? What have you got hooked up, and what's home?
So we've got a next-gen Ford Ranger with a aluminium canopy, and we've got a 2004 Roadster Vacationer caravan.
Look at you go. And all going smoothly? I'm sure you've had ups and downs on the road, but generally speaking, all going well?
We've never really had too many issues with the caravan. You have your odd breakdown with the cars, and our old car was a 2012 Triton, which we did have. Had a few issues along the road, but since upgrading to the new car, it's been smooth sailing.
Good at you. Good on you. Now, 4 years on the road, or give or take a little bit, have you got a favourite spot, each of you? Is there somewhere you think, oh, this was just amazing and we are coming back, or is there somewhere you've been back to, something that stuck out?
Well, for me, it's definitely Exmouth. Well, yeah, we just had a wicked time, and we tend to work along the road too.
Oh.
I got an awesome job in Exmouth. I've had the boss there call me pretty often asking me to come back, so it's always
that's
up
good
on my list of places to return to.
Oh, that's handy, boys. What about you, Chels?
My favourite spot is probably Steep Point on the WA coast as well.
Yeah.
Most westerly point of the Australian mainland, just so secluded, amazing fishing and just camping on the beach. Yeah, it's probably my favourite.
Amazing fishing. My ears did prick then, Chelsea. They did. What about, team, somewhere you haven't been? Somewhere you've heard in the parks, around the fire at 5 p.m, having a cold beverage? Is there somewhere that you think, right, we've got to do it? We've got to get there.
We've always wanted to do Lawn Hill, but for us, we tend to travel a bit different to everyone else. We tend to travel out of peak.
Yep.
So every time we've come across it, it's always been either start or finish of the wet season, and we could never get out there.
Well, I think we were there a little while back with Creek to Coast. It's a beautiful part of the world. But are you finding, guys, the more you research, the more places you go and speak to people, there's just new spots that keep popping up. You're going to need 2 lifetimes to get to everywhere.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And good point. We just discovered an awesome spot in New South Wales, the Gloucester Tops and Barrington Tops National Park.
Yep.
And we didn't even know that place existed, and we were blown away.
Exactly right. That's just, you get told, or you think, oh, we'll pop in here for one day. 4 nights later, you're still there going, wow, this is unbelievable.
That's it. And now it's like one of our most favourite places to visit.
Yeah.
And it's definitely one of our memorable spots, because we went for a walk up to the top of the Gloucester Tops Falls, and we thought, we'll put the drone up and try and set up a shot for our YouTube and things.
Yep.
And then next thing you know, it must have been too cold for the drone, and it just went to 0% battery and dropped in the top of the waterfall.
No. Tell me it only had that morning's vision. It didn't have like a build-up of weeks and weeks that you hadn't downloaded.
Yeah, we did only have that morning stuff, so it was all right. it made me feel a little bit better losing it, that we didn't have lots of good footage on there and things like that.
Yeah, I'm hearing you. Now, you've been on the road, as you said, for many years. Have you got a couple of tips, something you've learnt along the way that you wouldn't do or you would do, just for the folk out there listening that have maybe never been on the road or are planning on doing something, just a tip each or a couple of tips?
Probably one thing that gets overlooked and a lot of people don't realise is that the difference between on-road and off-road caravans is mostly just the suspension.
Yep.
And back in the day, no one had off-road caravans. They just had the same caravans, but they just took it a bit easier where they went and travelled.
Yep.
So putting a label on having an on-road or an off-road caravan doesn't mean you can't get to some of the cool places still.
Mate, that's a very good tip, because a lot of people, as you say, do buy the ones and don't think that they can get to these a little bit more remote, with not extreme, but you're saying do your research, but don't say never. Don't say you can't get there.
That's it. And like for us, we've got an on-road van, an older van, and we just carry a swag or a tent with us as well. So we do find Steep Point or Cape York.
Yep.
We do just leave the van for a week and travel with the tent and swag.
Happy days. Now, where can people find or follow you guys, Caravan Adventure Australia? Where can we catch up with you two and just see how you're travelling?
Yeah, so you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and we also upload weekly YouTube videos. So every Sunday morning you'll have a new upload from us. It's as easy as putting in Caravan Adventure Aus or Caravan Adventure Australia, and you'll find us.
Good on you, team. Now, look, we might, once we get through the podcast, we get into a few eps, we might do a little roundabout catch-up and see how you're travelling.
Yeah, awesome.
Sounds good.
Good on you, Chelsea and Bryce. Lovely to have you.
Thanks so much.
Catch you later.
Okay, for those that are listening to the podcast anywhere around the world, because, Harry, we are getting around the world, it's time for Fire to Fork. And, mate, how are you?
I'm going very well, mate. How are you?
Yeah, good. I luckily enough, I snuck out and did a bit of fishing. I know, and I do read in your profile on your Insta. You're good at everything, and you honestly say you're shit house at fishing.
Yeah, my old Insta handle was Harry Can't Fish.
Oh, I love it. Here's a secret. I can't either. No, I do. I can fish.
You definitely can.
Oh, I have a go, but I love cooking up the fish as well. But, mate, the RV world, and I've been lucky enough to be involved in it through Caravanning Queensland. It's not just, and no disrespect, it's not just the grey nomads. There's a lot of families travelling with young kids. And I've had a lot of people firing questions to me saying, could Harry do something simple for the kids, something easy, get them cooked and fed and they're happy? And I said, if anyone can do it, Harry Fisher can do it. What are you thinking with the kids, mate? Yeah.
I reckon let's stick to the fish theme.
Yep.
But, look, it's sometimes hard to get kids to eat fish, so you've got to make it crunchy and you've got to make it delicious. And I think prawns are a really good way to do that.
Yep.
There's a recipe which is widely known, bang bang shrimp, but we're in Australia, so bugger calling it that. It's bang bang prawns.
Yeah.
So it's a really simple one. All you do, you get your prawn meat, which you can just buy if you're useless at fishing like me. And then get your prawn meat, chuck it in some buttermilk, and you just leave it there for 5-10 minutes. It doesn't need to be long at all. And the buttermilk will help to break those prawns down and act as a bit of a binder for the next step. Oh. And the next step is really simple, and it's just a bit of corn flour. You don't need anything special. So also, if anyone out there is gluten-free, this is a way of having crispy fried prawns without gluten. My wife's actually celiac, so it works really well.
Yeah.
Roll them around in some corn flour, and corn flour crisps up like you wouldn't believe. There's something about the starch in it. Just grab a bit of oil in a pan, the way to tell if it's hot enough is you chuck a stick in there, and if the end of the stick boils, it's hot enough. Wow. Or you can get fancy and go anything above 170, between 160 and 180 degrees is what you were aiming for.
Yep.
Drop it in there, fry it up so it's really crispy all over. Now, that's the simple bit. They're going to be crazy crunchy, really delicious, and they've got a slight saltiness from the buttermilk. The thing that you're going to want to do is make a nice sauce. And the simplest sauce for these is half mayo, half sweet chili sauce. And if you're an adult and you want a little bit more spice, chuck a bit of sriracha in there. It adds a bit of garlic and stuff. But just those two things on there, squeeze a bit of lemon or lime on them, serve them on rice or just on their own. They're a great beer snack, but more than anything, kids smash them. In fact, I found that in general, kids just use the prawns as a vessel for the sauce. The sauce is so good.
Wow. So, and as you said, you could use fish as well if you get yourself some fish. But
absolutely.
Once again, mate, buttermilk. I have never.
Buttermilk.
I mean, I've been doing Creek to Coast forever. Never. Yeah, our chefs. So put it in buttermilk. Just gives it a bit of
and
flavour.
the reason for buttermilk is buttermilk doesn't have any butter in it. I don't know most people don't know how buttermilk's made, but buttermilk is just an acid, so like vinegar or lemon juice, and milk. It's those two combined. And there's actually quite a lot of acid in both milk and, of course, the additional acid. So it's like an extra acidic milk, which actually tastes nice. But what it does is it breaks down the flesh and makes it more tender. So if you've got a tougher bit of fish, or even better, some chicken, you can do the same thing with chicken tenders. Soak it in some buttermilk for between 5 minutes and 4 hours, and then roll it in whatever you're going to use it. It acts as a binder, but it also acts as a meat tenderizer. And it's phenomenal and really cheap and easy to get.
There goes my theory. Buttermilk doesn't have butter. Oh, it's got to have butter for sure, does it? Oh.
I only just found it out, so don't feel bad. I found it out researching the recipe, and I was like, what?
Wow, that's unbelievable, Harry. So all the RV lovers out there listening to this podcast, they're all going to go out now and buy a little carton of buttermilk and take it with them, mate. That is fantastic and simple. That's what our recipes are all about on this podcast, nice and simple, mate. How can people, if they want to watch you do this or get some more inspiration, how can we find you?
I'll just jump on YouTube, mate. So Bang Bang Shrimp or Bang Bang Prawn. I call it Bang Bang Prawns, again, because of Australia. On YouTube, and you can see it all there. And the full recipe with all the quantities in there as well.
Mate, fantastic. Fantastic. Or shoot me a question at podcast@everythingcaravancamping.com.au, and we can ask Harry in the coming months. Mate, it's always a pleasure. Speak to you next.
Mate.
Good on you, Harry.
See you next, mate.
Let's go.
Now, don't forget to head over to the Everything Caravan and Camping podcast page at all the W's, everythingcaravancamping.com.au. Sign up to the newsletter for your chance to win a $50 voucher to spend on the ECC marketplace. And don't forget to catch up on all of our ECC episodes. You go to where you get your podcasts, or you can head over to all the W's, everythingcaravanandcamping.com.au. Well, that's us for another week. And don't forget, we want to hear from you. We'd love to get you on the show with us. So if you're planning a trip, if you're out on a trip as we speak and you're listening to this podcast, or if you've got any question to do with anything we've spoken about, and if we haven't spoken about it and you want to know about it, make sure you send us an email, podcast@everythingcaravancamping.com.au. Be safe out on the roads. See you next time.
Come on. Let's go. They've got everything. Everything caravan and camping. Let's go. They've got everything.